The top 10 most terrifying mental disorders. Number 10. Schizophrenia. Schizophrenia is a disease found in the psychosis category, and most often, its symptoms appear between ages of 18 and 35. The disease may develop gradually for months and expose itself in stages, or last a long time in silence until one day it explodes. Over the course of the illness, patients lose contact with reality, show inadequate emotions or a very limited range of emotions, have hallucinations, and even suffer catatonic episodes or exhibition of paranoid behaviors. There are several types of schizophrenia of varying severity. Schizophrenia is most often treated with pharmaceuticals or psychotherapy and cognitive behavior therapy. Number 9. Obsessive-compulsive abnormalities. Formerly referred to as neurosis of obsession, this disorder compels its victims to engage in odd behavior, seemingly by force, and the compulsiveness also appears to manifest obsessive thoughts, and unfortunately, they normally revolve around violence, religiousness, or an unsatisfiable need for symmetry and perfection. The compulsions are often irrational and force people to check repeatedly whether everything is as it should be. One patient described his experience as follows: "Everything I did, I had to do twice, and then again, but in the opposite direction. It was impossible to breathe when I was looking at someone, and when people were in sight, I had to breathe so intensely that I lost consciousness." Number 8. Paranoid personality. Paranoid personality is a disorder characterized by a paranoia or prolonged, unjustified mistrust or suspicion of others. Those suffering from this disorder withdraw from other people, and they are also extremely sensitive about any criticism. The difficulty in treating a paranoid personality victim comes down to the factor of limited trust, creating a huge barrier in convincing the patient that they have a problem to begin with. However, a combination of psychotherapy, antidepressant, and anti-anxiety drugs can bring some results. Number 7. Depression. Let's start off with a quote. "Since I was a child, the only thing I wanted was to be happy. The challenge for me every day is just to wake up and get out of bed. Instead, it simply seems easier to close my eyes and fall asleep again." Unfortunately, this type of description of a depressed person's state of mind is commonplace. The disorder is basically a long-term reduction in mood combined with other symptoms, such as low self-esteem, a complete lack of energy, and irritability. Patients often face depression for many years, and treatment is based on psychotherapy. Number 6. Mental anorexia is a disorder in nutrition caused by a pathological drive to lose weight and a disturbed perception of one's own body, most often affecting people between the ages of 14 and 18. Anorexia is a very fatal mental disorder. The risk of death is 4 times higher than those suffering from depression, twice as high of those suffering schizophrenia, or 3 times higher than in cases of bipolar disorder. A person suffering from anorexia limits their intake of food to very small amounts, uses slimming agents such as laxatives, or they embrace bulimic behaviors such as vomiting. Number 5. Emotionally unstable borderline personality disorder. A borderline personality is a personality disorder based on strong mood swings and emotional instability, manifesting itself in intense bouts of anger or a distorted self-image and emotionally unstable relationships with other people. A person with borderline personality disorder is terrified of rejection and shows autoaggressive tendencies. One of the people suffering from this condition described his relationships with others as follows: "Nobody knows how to treat you. They walk around you with their sticks. You see yourself as 0, and the next day, you simply feel like you are much better than others. It's a daily guess." Number 4. Bipolar affective disorder. This is one of the diseases that is actually quite often mentioned in society, and people more or less know what it's all about. A person with this mental disorder moves between 2 emotional states: mania, which is accompanied by an increased feeling of emotion such as happiness or anger, and depression, during which he or she feels guilt or sadness. Mania or depression can last for weeks and usually takes several days to go between states. Tragically, untreated bipolar disorder is characterized by a 25% suicide rate. Number 3. Schizophrenic bipolar disorder. This one combines the symptoms of two ailments. Patients experience mood changes balancing between mania and depression, but losing contact with reality, and complemented by hallucinations and delusions. The good news is that with medication and psychotherapy, including family therapy, there is help for this disorder. Number 2. Disassociative personality, aka psychopaths or antisocial personalities. This one is one of the most dangerous disorders on our list because people affected cannot feel empathy, which means that they don't feel others' emotion or their own guilty conscience. Psychopaths don't care about anyone's health or safety. They are excellent liars and often show aggressive behavior. Victims of this illness often commit heinous crimes. Most serial killers have been diagnosed with this disorder, and the worst part is that it's impossible to treat because the brain of a disassociated person simply cannot connect with the sensation of empathy. Number 1. Identity dissociation disorder, formerly referred to as multiple personality or split personality. It is one of the most severe mental illnesses out there. Basically, people affected have several personalities who usually do not know one another, which can vary greatly by age, identity, gender, etc. Sometimes one identity dominates for many years, or intervals of several can change by the hour. For example, a 50-year-old man affected by this disease will believe that he's a 5-year-old and play with toys. This separation from personalities is most often the result of severe trauma in childhood, such as sexual abuse or death. That's it for today's episode of Exit 10. Hit the like button, subscribe, leave us a comment, and binge watch our videos. Oh yeah, and smash the bell!